Unlike pretty much every other cave dweller in the world right now, I didn't know what to expect going into Baldurs Gate 3. As a lifelong gamer, I wasn't used to this strange, uncomfortable feeling. Usually, even if I hadn't played a title, when I pressed on that new game button, latent muscle memory would activate and take control of my fingers, just like Bill Cosby. But not with Baldurs Gate 3. You see, as a proud member of the console master race, I was a new kid on the CRPG block. And this wasn't any block, it was a Dungeons & Dragons one. Perhaps the most mystifying and complex world one could enter with a girlfriend. But nonetheless, I decided to take this leap, and after a year of downloading, a breakup, several wars, and this guy, I was ready to boot up the game. The character creator was the first obstacle thrown at me in this treacherous journey. And it didn't disappoint. To conquer this intricate beast, I was forced to spend hours and hours conducting the appropriate calculations and measurements to ensure that I accurately represented God's gifts in-game. When I finally achieved this goal with the appropriate subtlety and precision of a master artist, it was time to boot up the game and lose my CRPG virginity. And when I finally did, much like in real life, I was instantly confronted with a reminder why I don't like seafood. A mix between your average hentai love interest, a squid, and a combustion engine was on a rampage and had captured my character. Thankfully, I was not anal probed. And simply transported to a Japanese capsule hotel where I was infected with an alien parasite designed to slowly take over my mind and turn me into Davy Jones. After overcoming mankind's worst fear since the 1980s release of Alien, the tentacled monstrosity in which I was captured came under attack, and I managed to escape from my Japanese prison. After I escaped, I surveyed the landscape around me, admiring the complexity of the interior design my captors architected. But I could not have been prepared for what I found next. You see, even being infected by an alien parasite, DMT, and severe psychosis did not set up my brain to process what I found. You see, not only did I peer upon the sight of a scalped brain, but perhaps even more terrifyingly, I had to engage in small talk. You see, the brain was not simply dead, but transformed into a talking parasite. Upon seeing this grotesque sight, relief washed over me in equal measure as I took comfort in the fact that things could always be worse. And I decided to engage in conversation with the talking brain. After a brief interaction, I was confronted with the previously unthinkable possibility that I could achieve a lifetime of friendship with this fascinating new species. So I immediately decided to splatter its brain across the gunk-filled floor of the ship and progress. No time for new friends. With the brain threat removed, I searched for an alternative way to escape, and to my luck, I was greeted by a very strong, independent woman. The number one person everyone wants to be around in a life and death situation. After a brief moment of acute sexual tension, I knew we'd make a good team. My mastery of the arcane, combined with her ability to deal with customer service, would create an unstoppable force of nature. So we ventured further to search for an exit, and on the way, discovered something intriguing. A cosplayer. You see, a mysterious woman cosplaying as an unknown character was in a capsule pod just like ours. My new clan friend obviously thought that saving this poor woman would only add more competition to my carefully sculpted ripe fruit. But I knew that if I failed to save her, it would take me at least a day to stop thinking about who she was cosplaying. Plus, a threesome was now on the table. So to satiate my curiosities, I decided to search for a way to free this woman against the objections of Karen. The same genius I had drawn upon to complete the character creator brought me to a lever, and the woman known as Shadowheart was released. The spectre of our impending deaths convinced me that this was not an appropriate time to inquire about her outfit or the threesome, so instead we grouped together and hastily made our way to the central command ship. Unfortunately, the place was swarming with enemies, and I once again had to draw on my immense intellect to find the lever and pull it. Upon doing so, the ship was once again attacked, and I was forced into the dangerous world of unregulated skydiving, destined to become an intriguing bloodspatter. Thankfully, to my surprise, it seemed as though the mind flayers accidentally swapped out their thrall device for a Neuralink, and I was saved from death from these new big brain powers that I had achieved. Not only that, after surveying the site of death, destruction and debris, I realized Shadowheart was still nearby and alive, separated only by a mysterious object. Maybe this would hold the clues to her cosplay outfit. I guess I'll have to check out next time. Like and subscribe if you liked the video, and if you didn't, tell me why I feed off hate.